POD, I guess. No, it's a Smoking Guns podcast. Win or lose, we're here, and that's a good thing because somebody needs to be here. Somebody's got to show. I'm just kidding.
Someone needs to show up.
Yep.
Welcome to the Smoking Guns podcast. We are a podcast that deals with the San Antonio Gunslingers of the Indoor Football League. My name is Philip Higginbotham. I'm joined, as always, by Leo Lamas.
What's up, Gunslingers posse?
Or Yamith, as I should say. I don't know. That's the.
Did you say Lamas?
I did. I totally threw the L on there. I think it's the first time I've ever done that.
I'm so used to hearing it that I'm deaf to it.
Also joined, as always, by RC Woods.
Hello, beautiful people.
And we are back in the fold after another San Antonio Gunslingers loss, dropping to 0-3, this time to the Vegas Nighthawks. What is a Nighthawk? They don't even know, Leo.
They don't know
They won't
themselves.
even tell us what they are. They don't know.
We asked.
They have no idea. 62-35, dropping to 3-0. It feels like the end of the world. Maybe it is the end of the world. Maybe it's the end of the season. Maybe we just pack it up. Maybe this thing's over before hockey season's over.
No.
I don't think so. And we're going to get into why I think there's still hope. But we'll talk a little bit about the game against Vegas. We'll talk about the upcoming game against the Northern Arizona Wranglers in just a few days, once again at the Freeman Coliseum Retro Night, which is why I doffed my Gunslingers jersey. I believe that was the retro
that was 80s
jersey
night, yeah.
from last year. And so we got some new retro jerseys. Stick with us through the end of the show, and you'll find out what the new jerseys that will be on sale are, and they'll be there. A little bit of a snafu came up with the Pistoleros jersey we hear. That's a bummer. Those will not be available. However, there are two new retro jerseys in the pipeline coming down this Saturday. You'll want to see those, so stick with us. Chase Risman already checking in, saying the Gunslinger season isn't over yet. They have 3 straight games against Northern Arizona and Tucson, and Chase is right on the money. As bad as 0-3 looks, there is absolutely no reason we don't right the ship, get to 3-3 by mid-May, and kind of start this whole season over, just a shorter season at a 500 record. There's no reason that can't happen. Both Northern Arizona and Tucson not having a great season so far.
Mm-hmm.
And so very possibly those are games that we can tune up and kind of figure out what's going wrong here and make something happen. April asking, are the new jerseys actually going to arrive? That's my understanding. Things happen. Right now, we live in a really weird world where really weird things happen on supply chains and orders. And, we've had a couple of issues pop up in these last couple of home games that have, it's not 2 in a row, I guess. It's only, it was outlaw jerseys last year and then snafu here with Pistolero jerseys. But these things happen, but it certainly looks like everything's on track for some new retro jerseys, and you'll see those a little later in the show.
And some of that is out of our control, really. What can we do?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, look, the world is nuts right now, and trying to get things from overseas here is sometimes not a real easy proposition. It's not what it used to be. You could order it and have it in 3 days. And some of those things are still like that, but you can't just order custom made jerseys for your arena football team on Amazon. That's not the way that works.
Wouldn't that be nice?
If Bezos were in charge of it, we might get them in time. Bezos or Chick-fil-A, if either one of those would get involved, we could get our stuff on time. Because they both seem to work really well no matter what's going on. But no, it just didn't work out. Pistoleros jerseys, you saw the Outlaws jerseys popped up. They just popped up later. My understanding is that the Pistoleros jersey will go down in the record as a never was. It will not be available. It will virtually never exist. It is the lost jersey. Everybody has these lore things around their teams and franchises of like the lost this, the lost that. This will be the lost jersey. This will be the one that exists, but never materialized. The lost Pistoleros jersey.
Yeah, sometimes those crates fall off into the ocean. I don't know if that's what happened, but sometimes that happens.
Oh, I don't know what happened, and I didn't push too hard. I asked the question, and they said, "Yeah, not gonna happen. Not gonna arrive. Not gonna show up." Despite our best efforts, is what I heard. Despite our best efforts from the team, those are not going to be available. That's a bummer.
It is,
but it is what it is. They were really cool looking jerseys, but I'll be really honest. I didn't think I was gonna get one. I did get a ball.
Nice. Very nice
looking ball.
Stole it after the game was over. Saw it just sitting on the ground. Some little girl looking at it, but I grabbed it and ran away. No, I'm just kidding.
Very nice of you.
I was saying, you just recorded yourself on the interweb saying you stole the ball.
No. I always get crap for stealing balls from little kids. I got it at the baseball game in Sugar Land. I might as well get it in a football game in San Antonio right now. Balls did look cool. Josh checking in said the football was awesome. The football is pretty cool.
Very cool ball.
It's got that skull graphic on it. It's got the flower. I liked the Fiesta feel. The Fiesta feel throughout the night was pretty cool.
Almond gear, Fiesta earrings.
Before the game, we got our prayer from the chaplain of the San Antonio Police Department. I can't remember her name. RC's going to give you a name here in a second.
I have her name right here. Her name is Pledge Prayer by Dory Brown. Dory Brown.
And she is the one that always gives the prayer that that says something about the team that we're playing against, and strengthen them because so that they can deal with this loss. I saw her after the game, talked to her for a few minutes, and she goes, "I may have to come up with a new prayer. I'm 1 and 2 with that prayer."
Yeah.
1 and 2. Okay, I was gonna say 0 and 3. I know she's done it 3 times.
Yeah,
but I didn't remember the 1 win.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Yeah, might need to change it up.
Well, I know what that feels like when you try to toss the coin 3 times and it never works. So, hey, I feel her pain a little bit. I keep trying to change it up. It doesn't help me at all.
Absolutely. No, a fun experience. Again, fan interaction was a little light. Didn't seem like there were as many people there as maybe some of the games near last season. But honestly, Leo and RC, as we've been talking about for a couple of weeks here, it's a product that's hard to get people in the building for already. And when they see a record of 0 and 2 and 0 and 3, that just makes it that much harder of a sell to give up your Saturday to come see the team, see the game, see what it's all about, when you're going to walk away and the experience was cool, but I don't feel like great because we didn't get the win.
Yeah. There's just a lot more excitement in the air when your team is winning, when they're kicking butt on the field. And you come away and it's a great product and a great presentation, and it's a lot of fun. But when the L's start to pile up, it does take away from the excitement of the event for sure.
Look at the Spurs, I would say the last couple of years I haven't been watching. Now all of a sudden I'm a big Spurs fan, because they're winning. It makes a difference.
See, there's the typical Spurs fan right there. Right there. That's who we're talking about.
Yep. I was just gonna say I've been watching even with
San
the losses,
Antonio
but
in a person right there.
I can't share that sentiment. But I get it. Yeah. And it is 100% true, especially in San Antonio. I mean, probably other places too, but we're from San Antonio, so we know this about our fan base.
Yeah, certainly. It's not just a San Antonio thing. I think if you go to
concept either, it happens all over.
Yeah, you go to Cleveland and watch a Cleveland Guardians game. I bet when they're good in the stands. But hey, Chase, yes, it is. Chase says that's not San Antonio in a person. Look at her. Look at how she's dressed. It's Fiesta. This is San Antonio wrapped in one person right here. Right here. That's our girl. Don't talk bad about RC. So let's talk a little bit about what we saw on Saturday. It was a little demoralizing, but if you're honest with yourself and you take a step back and look at the league and where it is right now, and the two teams that played on Saturday, if you take off your San Antonio Gunslingers glasses for a second, that's how that game was going to go. Like Vegas is really, really good right now. They were on something like a 20 some odd drive streak of scoring points, and now it's at 28 or 29 or whatever it is. Like they score points every time they touch the ball. They did it on Saturday night. Mm-hmm. We're still struggling offensively, and so that game was 62-35. That's how that game was going to go, unless something really, really odd happened, and nothing really odd happened. The team that is in postseason form was better than the team that is still trying to figure out and get its feet. That's exactly what you should have expected, I think. It's not what I wanted, but it's what we should have expected, right?
It's not what we were hoping for.
You know what was odd was to see Duck on that side and not on our side.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just more evidence of what a monster of a team the Vegas, whatever they are, is currently. If you look at the standings, there's no longer any undefeated team in the league, but Arizona and Vegas, standing both at 3-1, are two of the better teams in the league. Mm-hmm. The only team, the win that got away was that very first game against Tulsa. Really, that's the game that you're kicking yourself as a gunslinger and a Gunslingers fan, as that woulda, coulda, shoulda. That should have been the one win in your pocket going into these next two games that were going to be tall asks for a new young team. Mm-hmm. The fact that we go into Arizona and lose 44-31, not a big surprise, and then come at home and lose, to a very good Vegas Nighthawks team, 62-35. A little bit of a surprise as far as how one-sided it was, but not a surprise in the result. I mean, that was going to be a really tall ask and a tough task for the Gunslingers. But as Philip says, looking at what's ahead and looking at what the league is right now, where other teams are at, there's definitely some hope moving forward. Not to say, though, that we're not kind of in desperate times right now, because make no qualms about it. The Gunslingers as an organization, as a team, are in it's time to put up time.
Right. The one word that I said before in the other games that I could not say in this game was competitive. They did not look competitive at all. It was just the gap got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I never saw this was a close game. I never said that out loud.
No, it wasn't close. And I mean, as we go into the second quarter, I mean, the first quarter's close, but that's because you both started 0. By the time we got into the second quarter, and a turnover, which was kind of suspect. I'm not going to lie. I know I'm a homer. I know I have a different perspective than everyone else and every camera on the field and everybody. So if you didn't see it exactly the way Leo and I saw it, but we saw the football hit the ground out of control of Clifton Duck and him scoop it up and continue to go on the interception, that's an incomplete pass. Now, do I blame Jonathan Bain for not challenging? A little, because it was a really important switch of possession Yeah,
Momentum.
you're already down by 2 possessions. Now, if they score again, you're going to be down by 3 possessions. It almost feels like you throw the flag out there on the hope that the camera caught something and that you're going to be able to get it overturned. I would have challenged it. We were screaming at Bain to challenge, but he was on the other end of the field. And it's entirely possible that they don't have the angle to overturn it. But Leo and I saw it clearly. Duck did not have control of the ball. It did hit the ground. The ground is what gave him control of the ball.
Yeah.
Absolutely
100%.
clearly from my perspective. Nobody else may have seen it that way, and no camera may have caught it. But, man, I saw it. It was there, and Leo did too.
100%, no doubt in my mind. We clearly saw the ball on his side hit the ground, which helped him get control with his left arm and pull the ball up. And then he even hesitated just a little bit to actually get up with the ball, but he did. And then he ran and no whistle, and the play went on. And yeah, those of us that were in that end zone and the party zone were livid because
y'all had the better view. I was over there on the other side. So
yeah. Again, I would have challenged just based on the situation. I don't know that it would have gotten overturned. It probably would not have. And so maybe that's what Bain is looking at and going, hey, chances of me actually getting this overturned are going to be really slim. I'm going to hold on to that in case I need it later. He did not end up needing it later, and that would be my argument. If I'm standing right next to him and we're actually discussing whether he should challenge or not, to me, that's a moment you have to go all in and challenge just out of the hope that you can get it overturned. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Chase Risman asking a question that's getting some conversation going. Is there any talk of the Gunslinger game Saturday being postponed since it's going to rain all week? I don't think so. It's San Antonio. San Antonio is a big old sponge with no water in it right now. It's going to soak up a lot of this water. If we got into a situation where things were flooded out in a sort of catastrophic way, they wouldn't make that decision until much later in the week than Monday. But I can't imagine that will actually happen. We live in a desert. And so even if it rains all weekend, it's going to soak that up. And I don't think there'll be a problem. I could be wrong. I'm no meteorologist. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think so.
And we're indoors.
Yeah.
So,
Josh saw it the same way. He said for sure the ball hit the ground. That's what we're talking about, Josh. We saw it. We were there.
Yeah.
Dolores says, isn't that what challenge flags are for? You take the chance. I agree. I am not the head coach of the I do not want to be the head coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I have no desire whatsoever to have that job. I like to second guess the guy that has that job. That's job
your job.
Like.
That's
my job. I steer right into that. I'm good at that. I've made really good friends with San Antonio head coaches by being that guy. They all love me a lot.
Good friends? Are you going that far to say good friends? Okay.
Good friends. Yeah, no, I talk to Tom Manas every other day or so. No, I'm just kidding. It was a frustrating game. Let's talk. So we talked a little bit about that interception. I knew that was going to be something that we talked about. Let's talk about what you saw from the offense. Yep, that's what we saw from the offense. That was very little. But there's a change, Leo. There's a change from Joaquin Collazo, who has been the starter for 2 games now.
Mm-hmm.
And about middle of the second quarter, after an interception, he gets the hook. And Fred Payton comes in and leads the offense for the rest of the second half, the rest of the second quarter, and then the rest of the second half. Leo, you've seen both now. I have my answer. I know what my answer is. You've seen both now in live fire. At this moment, you have to name a starter. I'm going to play the part of Jonathan Bain and give you control to name a starter between these 2 guys that you've seen almost equal time. It's not exactly equal, but pretty close to equal time in live fire against similar opponents, all playoff teams. What are you doing? Who are you starting as you go into 3 games that you need to win? over the next 3 games. Which one have you seen that just passes the eyeball test enough to start at this point?
Well, if you're Coach Bain, there's no way you're giving that decision to somebody else. But you're putting me on the spot. Look, I am a Joaquin Collazo fan.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I think he's a good quarterback, a great player, great leader, great person. And the complete body of work makes me want to lean towards Joaquin. But right here, right now, just judging from what we've seen lately, which football is very much a what have you done for me lately sport.
It is.
You've got to lean towards and give the edge to Fred Payton Jr. It's tough though, because it's a tough decision, because you have to measure results, and right now, with this iteration of the Gunslingers, the guys we have on the field, the offense that is being run, Joaquin has had opportunities and not been able to get the job done to this point. Fred comes in relief of Joaquin in this last game, and then all of a sudden it seems like there's new life breathed into the offense, and we start scoring. We start ending some possessions in touchdowns, which wasn't happening. It's hard to pinpoint an exact reason, if you ask me. Like, looking at you can identify exactly why Fred had more success in this game versus versus Joaquin. It's hard to kind of pinpoint that, but the results themselves kind of speak for themselves, especially in this last game. So you got to go with the hot hand. And right now, Fred Payton Jr. is the hot hand, because really, as we said just a moment ago, this team is in a desperate situation. It's not statistically, numerically, mathematically, it's not in a must-win situation, but in every other aspect you can think of and come up with, this team is in a must-win situation.
Yep.
Well, the other thing is, even before the quarterback gets the ball, we need to talk about the center. I mean, there's Butterfingers right there. I don't know what's going on in that position, but I know they may not have a person to come in for that, like we have a backup quarterback, but that center, I think it was the first or second play, they dropped the ball.
Second play.
Yeah. It's too much. We've seen that is the only consistent thing I've seen, is that center is not doing the job the way we need to have him do the job.
There's been some struggles with center is a bowler. I see from Ginger on the East Coast. That's exactly what I was seeing. I said that snap looked more like you're bowling than you're snapping a ball, because it was just along the ground. And then not too much after that, you see missed blocking assignments in the middle of the line also. So it's not just the low snaps. There is some issues along that offensive line. You saw it with Joaquin, and you saw it with Fred. I mean, they were under duress. They were getting sacked. They were taking hits in very inopportune times. And, hopefully they can figure something out and get that fixed, because that's not helping anybody. That's not helping a single player on the offense.
Right.
Agnes Huddle, the mom of one of our favorite players. Who is that, Leo?
Tyler Huddle, who was perfect up to this game. He missed a field goal, but I had to explain this to somebody. Like, that field goal was actually more like a punt. And
it's a punt. It's a punt.
It's a punting scenario, but you can't punt. So you kick a field goal knowing that you're very likely not going to make it. But the object is to get the ball to the other offense on the other side of the field, because you're deep into your own end zone. And so it almost hurts me that counts against Tyler's kicking statistics, because now he's no longer perfect on the season. But if you actually analyze what that was, he's still perfect. He's still perfect to us Gunslingers fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tyler did a great job. I talked to him after the game, and I'm like, hey, just kick it right off the face mask. And on kickoff, kick it right off the face mask of that guy standing right in front of you, because there's always two of them on either side of the kicker. And I'm like, just kick it off the face mask of one of them. And he goes, honestly, I tried to do that one time, and that's the one that went way out of bounds. That like way out of bounds. He said I was trying to kind of kick it off the guy and see if we could get a hold of it. You know, I'm okay with taking a chance like that every once in a while. It's okay with me. Agnes, though, talking about quarterbacks, says it's not a crime to use two quarterbacks. And Ginger comes back and says, I love the use of both quarterbacks. I like the idea of both quarterbacks being ready to go.
They both have to be ready to go.
I'm an old style guy that says that you need a starting quarterback. You need a guy. This is our guy moving forward, and everybody needs to be very clear on that. I'm a big believer that if you have two quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks. I'm that guy, and that's an old way to think, and I understand that's an old way to think, and maybe that's just me being an old man and get off my lawn. But you don't go into it and go in. Well, I'm going to be grouchy whether I'm an old man or not. But just if you don't have a set, this is our guy. I kind of feel like that's part of our problem. Some of our problem this season is that we're not really sure which one is our guy. And I think we need to shore that up, because when you have two, neither of them feel confident. Neither of them feel like it's my job. And I'm going to get, I'm going to be the guy no matter what happens. And so I don't like the idea of giving them both equal time in practice and just going with, and switching them out during the game. We used to do that when we were the San Antonio Commanders back in the AAF, and we hated that. I hated that.
That's true.
Not a big fan.
Would switch back and forth too much, I thought, back in the Commanders.
So that's just my thing. I will give my opinion. Leo, you say you got to go with the hot hand and you got to go with Fred Payton. I've seen enough now in this very moment that I feel like with the team around him, with the team that we currently have, Fred Payton was able to make some things happen and lead this team in a way Joaquin, and I love Joaquin. Like, I don't want Joaquin to go anywhere, and I want that to still be a guy that we can depend on when we need to, or if we need to. But in this particular situation, and I can point to some numbers, some reasons why I think that. In this last game, Joaquin was 5 for 8, 46 yards, 24-yard long, and 1 interception, no touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Fred Payton's numbers are fairly...
He needs to run more.
Fred Payton's numbers are fairly similar. He's 10 for 15, which is twice as many attempts, but twice as many completions, so pretty close. 104 yards as opposed to 46, but again, he had twice as many opportunities. His long is 25, whereas Joaquin's was 24. So all those numbers are pretty equal.
They are.
But then I look at the next two numbers on my stat sheet. And Fred Payton had 3 touchdowns to Joaquin's 0. And Fred Payton had 0 interceptions to Joaquin's 1. And if that's the numbers that I'm looking at, just the raw data and numbers, to me, I'm going to go with the guy that's given me 3 touchdowns over the guy that didn't give me any touchdowns. And that's not a slight on Joaquin. It just may not be the time right now. It may not be the situation. It may be situationally bent toward. Look, neither one of them are going to have a great time back there because they don't have a lot of protection. And that's just something they're going to have to deal with.
I think that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yep. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, seeing the entire body of work of Joaquin Collazo going back to last season, and honestly, not seeing a whole lot from Fred. I've seen as much as you guys have seen. We haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to see that. He got pulled really quickly in game 1, didn't play at all in game 2, and then came in and impressed in game 3. But just in this situation, I think it's situational. With the offensive line that we have right now, Fred seems to be able to make more plays happen than Joaquin. That's just what we've seen up to this point. That could change. And I agree with you about it's the whole iron sharpens iron. you go with the hot hand, and maybe, if that's Fred and Joaquin ends up, starting as the backup, maybe that puts a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Maybe that makes him work that much harder or figure things out. And next time he gets his opportunity, he shows what he can do. Just right now with the protection being as
Weak.
not protective as you would like, it's Joaquin has really struggled with that.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioning, I think it was Ginger, mentioned that, hey, the same thing happened when in that first game against Tulsa, when Fred came out and Joaquin went in. That's the same sort of numerical. I don't see that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm looking at those numbers right now. Fred was 3 for 6 to start the game, 31 yards. He did have one interception. Joaquin comes in and he's 15 for 22, 197 yards. He had a good game. He had a fairly solid game, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's not exactly apples to apples. And Joaquin, and I love Joaquin. I want Joaquin to be here. I want Joaquin to be the guy. I think I said all off season that's my guy. That's who I go with. But seeing the live rounds at this point, if you made me choose a starter, and I'm not the head coach, I don't know. Jonathan Bain will pick the one that gives him the best chance to win. But it right now, based on what I've seen, I think it would be Fred.
And I love what Ginger's doing right now, and I love that she's the sassy mom. You keep being sassy mom, Ginger.
Absolutely.
We love it. We love it.
And I know.
And it is what it is, and it's a situation as a competitor and a player that you find yourself in sometimes, and sometimes you don't. And how you deal with those situations is really what molds you as a player and a competitor. And I have no doubts that Joaquin is going to handle this whichever way it goes, because we're talking like we know. Right. It's just Philip posed the question, and I'm answering his question to this point, kind of where you think you would go or which way you would lean, because it is a question right now because of the way the quarterback position has been kind of shuffled and things have worked out to this point. So it is a question, and it's something that a lot of fans are asking. So, we're talking about it.
And let me go a step further and talk a little bit more about Joaquin, because again, this is a guy I really respect in a lot of ways. After the game, I happened to be standing near him. I just talked to him for a minute, Joaquin, and somebody came up to him. A fan came up to him and said, "Hey, man, what happened? Did you get injured or something? What happened?" And he looked at that fan right in the eye and he said, "I just wasn't effective. I didn't have it today. So they pulled me and they put Fred in, and he did a great job. Very professional, handled like he could have done anything in that moment. He could have griped and complained. He could have pouted. He could have done any of those things. He didn't. He owned up to the fact that I wasn't as good as I feel like I could be. Coach saw that, gave me a chance to sit down, and gave Fred a chance to go in, and Fred did his job and did what he could do." Again, Joaquin, a professional guy, a guy I like having around this team, and I want him around. I want him to be here. But right now, if you're asking me who I would start, and I'm not the head coach, based on what I've seen in actual game time play, it looks like Fred has this situation under some sort of better control. It's not a good situation for either of them. But I think Fred has the best. And Ginger says he's classy. He is a classy guy, and I appreciate that about him more than his tangibles, which are there. Like, he has the tangibles, he has the throw, he has the intangibles are what I appreciate about Joaquin, always have. He's a guy that I really respect in this league, and I haven't felt that way about all of our quarterbacks as a San Antonio Gunslingers fan, but I feel that way about Joaquin, and I'm really impressed with him as a person. Just if I've got to pick, I got to pick somebody to start, and right now I feel like the offense works better in this moment with Fred than it does with Joaquin, unfortunately.
Well, we'll have to see who starts next week.
We'll
And we're
see.
not
We will
there
We'll
see.
see
in
what
practice
happens.
either. And we're not there in practice, so we don't really know
Yeah.
what's going on either.
Yeah, and if we have Jonathan Bain come on here in a few minutes, I've extended an invitation to him as I do every week. If he pops on, we're going to ask him the question, and he's going to tell us whoever gives us the best chance to win.
Yeah.
Like that's the answer he's going to
his
give
answer,
us.
yeah.
And we're not going to know anything probably until Saturday afternoon as we gather at Freeman Coliseum. Joshua has a question. He says, an honest question, is it me? Or this year, our officials seem to be confused about what decisions to make. Being on the field, like I see plays in front of me, even if it's against our team, I don't know how they don't see it or know what calls to make. I need to point out that the entire officiating structure from the top down is new this year.
Wow.
Mhm.
The head of officials was fired last year, or let go or left or whatever you want to say. And they've installed a new head of officiating, and a lot of things changed beyond that, underneath that. And so really the entire official structure in the IFL is completely different this year. And so if they look a little off kilter, that doesn't surprise me because they're getting new points of emphasis, a new person that's giving them things to watch, even if they're officials that they've had before, which, by the way, I don't think we have the same officials here that we had last year, last couple of years.
A couple of guys, but not all of them. Yeah.
But it's an entirely new structure. So that's you're not imagining things. I think they are confused. I think they
it's
are
not just you.
Because I see them huddle in the middle and they start chit-chattering, and then it takes a little bit of time. And at least it's not as bad as when we first started, but I do see them gathering and trying to ask each other, like, what should we do? What should we do? So, and that kind of makes me feel like, do they really know what they're doing?
I honestly get the sense, and I really got the sense in this last game, especially on the interception that wasn't an interception. I get the sense that some of these guys know it's a bad call, recognize that it was a bad call called by one of their peers, one of their team, but they will not correct the bad call because they don't want to necessarily I don't know if it's make their a member of their team look bad or make them feel less confident in making the call next time because they were called out in front of the entire stadium on a call that wasn't really correct. I just kind of get the sense that there's one guy that sees it and another guy makes the call, and then the other guy, because the other guy made the call first, is not willing to go against the initial call, even though they know it was the incorrect one. I kind of get that sense.
I can see that, and that's not the way officiating should work.
No.
They should come together and say, hey, I saw an interception. Another guy says, hey, I saw it hit the ground. He wasn't in control of it. The head officiating, the white hat, the head of the crew chief needs to be able to say, if he saw the ball hit the ground, that may be something that you didn't see. I'm not giving possession to the other team based simply on a 1-on-1. They got to be willing to do that. And honestly, I don't know if they are, because I don't know if they know they're supported from the top. I'm sure if we had somebody from the league come on, they would tell us, yes, we support our officials, and yes, they're supposed to do it that way, and yes, what you're saying is right, and I know that, and you know that, and every fan knows that. But I don't know that they feel that way, that they feel like they have the support and the ability to reverse a call after they've made a call. It's a hard thing to do. To say you see something, take a beat and say, never mind, I don't think that's the way it went down, makes you look weak. Go ahead. Sorry. I've done it before. I've officiated games. I called Little League Baseball for like a few games, a handful of games. And the one thing you don't do is reverse a call, because you will hear about it for the next 5 games you officiate, about how you overturned that one, you reversed that call, you did that. It's a very hard thing to train yourself to do. That's why you're always taught as an official, you take a beat and wait and make sure what you saw is what you saw. Because if you make a call and then you change the call, fans will not let you forget it. I speak from experience.
Well, I've heard the saying, after further review. So it does happen, but I do see that there's a not confidence.
That's on a challenge when somebody else forces them to see it differently.
Right.
When
we
someone
have
else
to
says,
challenge
no,
it.
we thought. Yeah.
The other time I saw this,
more.
and I got this very distinct sense that that's what was happening, was on the other, and I gotta say it this way, I'm sorry, total bull crap call of pass interference in the end zone on Christoph Page. It was absolutely horrendous call, and it was made from the guy down the sideline instead of the guy in the end zone who was standing right in front of us. And I really, really got the sensation that the guy in the end zone knew that was not the right call. But what do you do? What do you do if you're in his situation? I kind of get it. I don't like it at all, but I kind of get it because of where the officiating is right now in the league. Hopefully it's going to get better, but I'm not going to complain as a fan because those two calls that were obviously blown, there's no way they were going to make a difference in the outcome of this game. So it is what it is. Correct. It is what it is.
You're not wrong. Chase Risman pointing out a guy that we've liked to talk about a lot lately. Kevin Guy was responsible for the NFL referee structure change. Just putting that out there for what it is. I'm not going to talk anymore about Kevin Guy. I don't want to. I don't want to spend my time on it, frankly. But he's right. That was something that Kevin Guy promised consequences, and before you knew it, everything was changing around him. So, Alec Vasquez coming in and saying, garbage team. I hope you're talking about the referees, because we know you're not talking about Vegas, and we sure hope you're not talking about the Gunslingers that way. They haven't won a game yet. Doesn't make them garbage. And that's just not a way that we should refer to these guys that are out there working their butts off and just haven't come up with a win yet. But that doesn't make them garbage. That these are all really solid young men, great coaching staff that are just finding their way. They're not garbage. So I know that's not what you mean. It couldn't be what you mean. You must be talking about the referee team. Weird way to call them a team. Crew. Maybe go with crew next time. Jay Palmer. So, Philip, how was it being in the game and just being a fan again? I'll be honest with you. It was a little weird to get there. I got there very early because I usually do. Got a long drive in. Got there at a very early moment. And then I had nothing to do. Like, neither of you guys were there yet. I was all alone in our little party zone area. I was just kind of looking around. I went up and talked to Ralph for a minute. Ralph was going to call the game for Vegas radio. He ended up doing that. And so I went up and talked to him for a minute. I saw Jason from Texans Talking Football. He was helping with stats. Talked to him for a few minutes. Came back down, milled around for a little longer, like went to the bathroom before people started showing up. But once the game got started, man, I love it. I love being right down there, right next to it. I wish I could call the game from down there. I think that would be really cool because you could.
You should do some live action. Go live on Facebook. We would love that.
I'm busy enjoying the game. I'm not gonna.
All right, maybe I'll do that next time. How about that?
But it was really fun. It was really a great experience. It reminded me. This was my first. I turned to Leo and Dolores at one point, and I go, "Is this my first time since we moved to the IFL to actually be down here?" And they're like, "Yep, sure is.
Yep,
you've been upstairs for all the rest of them."
Where's
we did get a picture, right?
You've been busy. It's not on my phone. This time it's not my fault. That picture was taken on Loli's phone.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the picture. So yeah. Not me.
We need that picture. I can make it into a cartoon.
My buddy Joe Ochoa says not much grace to be had. Is there anyone out there to pull in to plug in at this point? Probably not. Unfortunately, another season lost. He talks about Brandon Negrin, who was the head coach of the Omaha Beef. It's not anymore. He does have another job. He got picked up by another team already. That being said, I don't think a quick change at head coach would do much. And I think he finishes out by saying there's not enough time to right the ship this season. I don't agree with that, Joe. I think there's still time. I think if you put together 3 wins in a row right here, you learn how to win against some teams that are not the same teams that we've been playing. It opens up. It almost is a soft reset on the season. You go 3-3. You're in early May, still very young season, 10 games left to go. You can make a run into the playoffs. You can even, and once you get into the playoffs, you can do anything. So I don't think that it's too, I think it's way too early to pull the panic, to sound the panic bells and pull the ripcord. I don't think it's time for that.
Look, for one, I mean, who hires a head coach and then fires him after 3 games with an entirely new team, basically?
The Orlando Pirates.
Well, yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I forgot to put it. I forgot to put it in the formal question. What is the Orlando Pirates?
Orlando Pirates for 5,000. No, look,
500.
What this organization is trying to build is longevity. They're trying to they're committed to San Antonio. They're committed to being a top class organization, and they're committed to bringing a championship and a winning culture to San Antonio football.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not going to happen overnight. They've been around now. This is their 6th year. But how many coaches have they had in that 6th year? In those 6 years?
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of learn from that, and you've got to have some continuity there. I don't think a knee-jerk reaction, pulling the plug on any coach or I think that's unfair, and I think it's unwise.
Joe clarifying, he says the execution of maturity for me is the problem. There's plenty of talent here. That's all my point is. I think you're right, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week. It's young guys, it's young and hungry, and they're gonna have to grow into this.
This is what you get with young and hungry.
Unfortunately, we started off with 3 playoff teams and 2 championship caliber teams. Arizona, they did not go to the championship last year, but they were a bad call. And I'll give Kevin Guy credit. It was a bad call. They were a bad call away from going to the championship last year. And the team that beat them was the Vegas Nighthawks, went to the championship and won the championship. So these are, and Tulsa is a solid team. And we were in our first game, first time head coach, a bunch of first time indoor players. And we played them nearly to a draw. 1 or 2 plays different, and Tulsa goes a different way. We already talked about that today.
Right.
So I don't think this was the first blowout game. RC mentioned that just a few minutes ago. Yeah. This was the first time it felt like it wasn't competitive. I think that has more to do with Vegas than it does with San Antonio. I'll be really honest. Vegas is in mid-season, postseason form. We are not yet. We are not the team that we're going to be at the back end of the season. They are. And you know what? I said this several times on Saturday night after the game. I will take a strong finish over a fast start any day.
Absolutely.
We had a fast start in our last year in the NAL. Ripped off 5 wins in a row to start the season. That's not the season I want to go through again, because it was terrible by the end of it.
Right.
It was rough. We went to the only playoff game the San Antonio, the only playoff game the San Antonio Gunslingers ever gone to, and we got absolutely demolished, ran out of the building, beat solidly the whole game. I would rather have a strong finish than a fast start. So I don't like 0-3. I'm not telling you be happy about 0-3, but I'll take 0-3 with the possibility to improve over 3-0. And this is our top end. This is the best we're going to do. I think the 3 games we have coming up against the lower echelon of teams in this league give us an opportunity to learn who we are, how we're going to play. And then at the end of that, if we're 0-6, then maybe I'll start pulling the ripcord with you guys. Maybe I'll be like, okay, this is not our season. This is not it.
I mean, I'll go even further than that. If we lose at home to Northern Arizona, and and it's another blowout, then okay, then I'm pulling the cord too. Then it's like, this season is all right. It's rebuilding, and it's time to look at, okay, what are we looking at to keep around for next year? Once you're 0-4 and you're losing to another team without a win, that makes it really tough. But but yeah, there's definitely hope. I mean, the schedule in the next 3 games is that's gonna kind of show us who what we got. And I think we got more than what a lot of people give San Antonio the Gunslingers credit for.
Earlier in the show, Ginger, I haven't seen her commenting the last few minutes. She might have gotten tired of the way we were talking about Joaquin. I don't know. But she asked about tons of new players. Can you explain how we got here with so many new players and how we lost so many great players this year? 2 things. We had an entirely new change on
Philosophy
in the coaching. When you get new coaches, you get new players in this league on this level. You're going to wind up with all, and he has a different way he wants to do things and a different philosophy for where he's going to go. Our previous coaching wanted to bring in big names that had a history of performing well in indoor football. Our current coaching staff wants to bring in young guys that may not have played the indoor game before, but have a lot of talent and ability. And so that's going to take a little while to gel. The other thing, I'll be really honest, I don't know this. The team hasn't told me this, but I'm smart enough to look at it and say it's a financial thing. Because I can get players for less money that do not have a history in this game and a name and a brand in indoor football. I can get them. I can get them to come here, and I can get more chances, more bites at the apple, more opportunities to get talented guys in here with young guys than I can with guys that have an established brand in indoor football. We do still have a couple of those guys. One of them that we haven't seen all season because of injuries is Glenn Gibbons. When he takes the field, you're going to see a difference in the offense. It's just going to happen because he is a playmaker. But unfortunately, he's been injured. But those 2 things, the new coaching philosophy and just frankly the financial side of running a team are the reason. I think that's how we got here. And that's why we see a lot of new players this year, a lot of other players going other places like Clifton Duck going over to Vegas and making an impact in Vegas. That's a guy that was here last year.
Naquan Murray,
another one.
Right. And I think the loss of the veterans that brought that experience is what we're missing this year. We had some veterans who were able to step up and be leaders. And I don't know if I necessarily see that right now with this team. Who would you say is the leader right now for the Gunslingers? I'm asking Leo and Philip. Who would you say? Who has stepped up?
My guess is, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll go after you.
I said I would say my guess is look on their jerseys and look for a star on the chest of their jerseys.
Oh, okay, that's the clue. Okay,
with a C in it. That's the player. Those are the players voting on who they believe their leadership is, and if the players are the ones voting on it and deciding, we've had coaches here before that decide themselves who the captains are. This particular coaching staff has allowed the players to vote on and choose their own captains. And those guys that are wearing that star with the C, that little, what is it? Like a sheriff star with a C on it. Those are your leaders. Whether they're putting up the numbers or not, they're your leaders.
Have you seen them step up? Not as the player, but who have you seen to step up?
Well, there's a lot that goes into any given game on any given week. There's a lot more that goes on in the locker room during practice, in the team meetings. There's a lot that happens that we don't see on the field. So it's hard for us to make any kind of judgment on who those guys are as far as leaders. If you're just talking strictly on the field, then it's been hard for us to see any judgment because the execution just hasn't been there. We had the same problem this week that we had last week. I looked at that stat. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. and look at efficiency and third down efficiency, we're 2 of 9 for the game, 22%. And that's a very telling stat right there. We were a little better on fourth down this week. We were 2 of 4 for 50%, but that 2 of 9 is absolutely atrocious. That's not going to get it done in any game at any level ever. 2 of 9. No, you're not winning that game. And that's when your leaders need to kind of step forward and take control of the situation. So far, that hasn't happened this year for a number of reasons. So if you're actually asking in that sense as a leader on the field, I mean, I've got 2 guys that I have visually seen kind of step forward and are kind of leaders in that aspect that I've seen. I should say 3. Returning veteran Austin Upshaw had a great game last week. Not as much of a factor in the game this week, but I know I know he's one of those leaders that the guys look up to because he's a veteran. Right. But as far as these new guys that are kind of showing their grit a little bit, you got to definitely say the running back KJ Smith has really impressed. He's done a lot to show that he deserves this opportunity to show what he's got at the professional level in the IFL. And he's making the most of that when he's got an opportunity. He's got the rock in his hand. He's doing some really good things. And then the other guy that finally, I mean, we've heard about him. We've seen a little hints of it here and there, but that absolutely balled out this week. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough because we need more. But Deion Cook made some absolutely fantastic catches. I mean, circus catches, highlight reel. I mean, he had a little mini highlight reel in this game and really stepped up in some key moments to make it a game because we dug ourselves in such a big hole to start.
Right.
Yes.
But those are some guys to kind of look out for and watch and maybe we start to see a little something starting this week against Northern Arizona.
I hope so. I really do hope so. Because I know statistically we had said this game wasn't a must win. And I was like last week, it is a must win. We have to get butts in the seats. We have to get the fans excited. And I am telling all of you, we have to show up this Saturday, bring a friend. And I say that because I brought 2 new friends this past game. Renee, he actually caught one of the shirts from the 6-shooters. And when he saw that kick for cash, he was trying so hard to do that scanner. And he said, I'm in. He goes, I'm a fan. I'm coming next game. So I think once we get people there and they see the excitement, but we need W's. Even all that other entertainment is not going to keep the fan who just came to 1 or 2 games.
Joel Ochoa checking in says if it's a money thing already, then it's never going to work. Build it and they will come win and the crowd will come, which equals more revenue. I understand your thought. I understand what you're saying. I know that finances is going to be a part of it. And I can't imagine spending double when you can get 2 players and both of them might pan out. Like it's just a matter of math. Like I need more opportunities to hit on the guys that I need. And that means to bring in a guy like Naquan Murray. But so here's the thing that we're missing. We have these guys on both sides of the ball that were supposed to be these veteran leadership, coach on the field sort of guys. One is Glenn Gibbons, who has not been able to see the field yet because of injury. And the other, on the other side of the ball, was Matt Elam, who got injured and knocked out for the season.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could do about injuries. Like injuries are going to happen, and you say, well, you need more than one. Remember, this is a league that limits your veteran presence already. And we have a different mentality on how we're going to go forward with players. So they were already banking on these 2 guys that would be leaders on the field that unfortunately aren't able to be on the field. And so that sets us back a little bit. That doesn't mean it's time to throw up the white flag and surrender. It means it's going to take a little extra time to develop those guys in real time. to be those leaders, but we had two of those guys, one on either side of the ball, that was supposed to be those guys, and it just didn't work out for us. We got a little unlucky. Injuries are a luck thing sometimes. You can't predict those. And we lost Matt Elam for the season, and we haven't seen Glenn Gibbons yet. That being said, the defense looks good. I realize they didn't look good against Vegas. I think that has more to do with Vegas and less to do with our defense. You can't expect the defense to be perfect every game or be good every game. There's sometimes that the offense has to step up and be a part of the reason you win, and that just didn't. That's not happening for us yet. James Palmer says the main bright spot here has been our kicker. Yeah, I mean we love Tyler Huddle.
I think, as a matter of fact, what was in this game when they ran into our kicker? They did call the penalty, to be fair, but I was hot. I was hot. I was angry. I was yelling at him. I was like, "You keep your hands off our kicker, because if you hurt him, there's going to be hell to pay." I'm jumping over that wall and I'm coming to get you.
I would love to see that, Leo. That I would pay extra money for.
Earlier this weekend or after the game, one of our fans, one of the guys that's on here right now, posted something on Facebook, and it started a conversation around the Gunslingers, and it became sort of my identity for this particular episode. We call this episode Frustration, because I just read frustration in this post, and mainly I think the person that sort of spelled it out the best was Jason Wood, a guy that we have heard from. He might even be lurking on here now. If not, I'm sure he'll listen at some point. But in the midst of this post, he says, speaking to the team, starting a season 0-3 isn't just a rough patch. It sets a tone, and right now it's not one that anyone in the locker room or the stands wants. Dropping the first 3 games puts immediate pressure on the team, but it also chips away at fan confidence. People show up when they believe in what they're watching, when they feel like the energy is part of something in the building, and right now that belief is shaky. The reality is simple. Winning changes everything. It brings the energy back into the stadium, gives the fans something to rally around, and reminds everyone why they invested in this team in the first place. Effort and potential are great, but results are what fill the seats and create momentum. Even one strong, decisive win can shift the narrative from what's going wrong to maybe they finally figured it out. If a team wants the fans fully behind them again, it starts with urgency, cleaner execution, better discipline, and a clear sense that every game matters right now, not later. Fans don't expect perfection, but they do expect progress and fight.
He's not wrong.
Agreed.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No.
Everybody that's seen it has agreed with it. Lots of folks telling him he's right on a message he has for the team. I don't know if they've seen it. By now they've heard it, because I know the team pays attention to this particular show and this particular voice. And so I wanted to make sure Jason's voice was out there when he says, we're with you, but we're beginning to wonder if we can continue to be with you through the rest of this season, if this is what we're going to see. Now, that being said, the most important part of what he said there is one decisive win can shift the narrative. And that means it can be Saturday. It can be retro night. It can be, it can be that. That can be that decisive win where we go, we know how to win. We do know how to win a football game. That can twist everything around and change everything. There you go.
That's
retro
nice.
night.
Yeah, agreed. And part of that is just showing some, showing maturity on the field and off the field. There's been some things in the comments about some things that happened after the game between players and a little bit of altercations and bickering. And that's something that we're not used to seeing with this team up until this year. That was not a thing with this team.
Yeah.
I know we haven't spotlighted some of those comments, and maybe we don't want to put too much light on that, but I think it's fair to mention it, and it's fair for the team to know that fans have a level of expectation from this team. Yep. and the way they represent the city of San Antonio, and its own fan base, and that's not cool. That's not what we're used to seeing, especially in front of kids and in the environment where families are there and kids are there to get signatures and have a good time and take pictures. That just has not happened and should not happen. And I don't know, I don't want to speak too much on it because I wasn't there to witness what happened, but whatever it was, for comments to be made by fans that we know have been around for years, you know, since near the beginning of the San Antonio Gunslingers, you know, I know whatever it was, it's not in the norm, and it's not what we expect. And so I think it's fair for us to go that far and say that they need to be better in that sense, not just on the field, but when there was a bit represent. Now, I'll also give credit. I'm going to say it now because it's on topic, but it's also going to be my bullseye later on. Is there was a very obvious effort by the players to be more engaging with the fans on the sidelines and in the end zone than in the first home game. And I know that's something that we commented on and actually mentioned to Coach Bain. And I am 100% certain, like Philip says, they listen. They pay attention to what their fan base is saying, you know, whether it's on this show or in social media or wherever, because I have no doubt that was talked about and addressed, because there was a very clear improvement in that area there, and a much bigger effort by the players. So I will give them credit for that, and it is appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of interaction with the game, April asking, is Randy Carroll okay from that hit he took on the wall that knocked him off his feet? As far as I know, he's okay. I know he's sharing the video on social media, so he's enjoying his time getting knocked on his butt there in the end zone, or over off the edge of the end zone, opposite side of the field from where we are. Kind of got hit and knocked down.
Ouch.
Yeah, for sure.
You know who I don't think I remember hearing him at the last game, but you know who's back? Our hype man.
Yeah.
Marcus, yeah.
Yep.
I was waiting him to say, who's house?
I didn't see him say his key catchphrase from a couple years back, but he was definitely vocal.
And no, he was all around us. He stuck the microphone over to Leo a couple of times for some of that. He looked at me like, "You want the microphone?" And I was like, "No, I'm watching the game. I'm not a loud, boisterous kind of hype man sort of guy." So, but yeah, Marcus was back. Good to see him. Spent a lot of time over there in the party zone with us.
And Deputy Duke was there. I loved it. He was very interactive.
He was. Although, and we got to point it out, somebody already said something about it. We need to let the mascot know. And look, one thing you need to know is that is the worst way to try to watch or do anything out of these holes that are out in front of you like this, is all you can see. But he was apparently clapping or cheering when a player on the other team got hurt. That's not a good look. We may need somebody, a staff member, to walk around with Deputy Duke, and that's not a bad idea anyway. A lot of teams have like I don't want to call it a babysitter, but for lack of a better word, somebody to walk around, a team staff member to walk around with them, and those things happen. But yeah, somebody should let him know that, hey, we got to be really careful, because we don't want anybody to think that we're cheering for an injury. But yeah, Deputy Duke was there.
We're talking about babysitters. We need
there. Alumni, a 6-shooter, Maylene.
Nice.
She was. I took a picture with her.
You were saying babysitter. I was going to say, speaking of babysitters, we need a babysitter for the DJ. Stop playing music while our offense is in the huddle.
This is so
somebody
simple.
Get this message to that DJ. Stop playing the freaking music while our offense is in the huddle. There should be absolute silence when our offense is preparing for the snap. Do that when the other team is on the field and in the huddle. That's part of the home field advantage, but not when our offense is in the huddle. Please stop it. Okay, rant over.
There we go. That's
Oh.
DJ CB. Just so you know.
Yeah, whoever's handling the music, music's great. We all love music. Big fan of music, and I'll be really honest. I'm gonna. It's time to put on my old man glasses here. Do I have them? Yeah, I got them. Here,
There
let
they
me put
are.
these on. Let me be my old man for a second. Let me do this old man thing and say, hey, whoever's controlling that music, whoever's playing that music, can you turn it down about halfway? Because the music's too loud. It's too loud at the beginning. It's too loud when I'm trying to have a conversation. It's too loud. Can you please turn the music down a little bit? It's very loud. I can't hear myself think. I can't bring my grandson because he won't wear the headphones, and I'm afraid of hurting his.
Where's this accent coming from? Who are you right now?
This is my old man, all right? This is what I've got.
This is old man Higginbotham.
This
Oh
is
my
the old
God.
man, but seriously, the music's loud. The music's very
It is
loud, and I
loud.
can't hear myself think. And I had a headache by about halfway through the thing, and I'm just an old man. I'm just an old grandpa. But please, can we turn the music down just a little bit? It's very, very loud. All right,
Take off those
it is.
glasses.
It's very
There,
loud.
now he's back. He's back.
No, seriously. I talked to my wife. I was like, hey, next game I should take Caleb because he's 2. He loves baseball. We go watch baseball. Great story. As I'm leaving the house on Saturday, I told him I was going to a football game, and he goes, baseball. And I said,
Aw.
no, not baseball. I'm going to go watch a football game. And he goes, blah, 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 baseball. And so I need to bring him to a Gunslinger game, but I can't. I can't bring him to the game right now because little ones have. I can't take the risk of him really hating the experience because everything is so loud, and it is. It's really it honestly is too loud. This is a bit, and it's a great bit, and I'll bring it back at some point. But I'm being honest. The music right now and the ambiance around the team is great. If I had to make one comment, I would say turn everything down at least about 25%. I'd say 50. We can still hear the music. You can still hype the fans up. It does not need to be overpowering over everybody and over everything. It's too loud. It's too much.
And certainly
Maybe I'm
not when
wrong,
our offense
but
is
it's
in the
too
huddle.
loud.
I think we need old man Higginbotham up on the jumbotron when our offense
I
is
don't
out
think we
there.
do. I disagree.
You know, they say where the little graphics you see at the game sometimes where they're like, quiet, please, or
Quiet down. Quiet down. Offense working. Quiet down.
We need that. Somebody's got to record that and put it on the jumbotron in the Freeman Coliseum.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, obviously the point you make about being on offense, that's important. That's one of those things that I understand what the crew is trying to do. They're trying to hype the fans up. They're trying to hype the game up. We're on offense. We want to be behind our team. But when the offense is working, you're making their job harder by piping in some noise while they're in the huddle. We don't need miscommunications in that moment. We need clarity of communication. Now, when they're on offense, that's the time. Take it up and let's be loud and let's make it harder on them. I'm all for that.
Yep.
Did you guys get your Fiesta pins?
I did.
I got it right here.
I don't have mine right here with me, but I did get one.
This was last year's, and this is this year's.
Yeah, so last year's had the little dangly bits, and this one just has the San Antonio Gunslingers that dangles below the football. I gotta be honest, this may be my very first. It's probably not Fiesta pin I've ever had, but
really?
Yeah, no, I got mine. It might honestly be.
Not mine. I have a whole dress full of medals. As
I
if
bet you
anyone's
do.
shocked by that.
I bet you do. James Palmer said we had to yell in the saloon to hear each other. And then April says, yeah, where is the saloon? I'll be honest with you, April, I have the same question. because I
What's up?
figured that it was a new thing that I had never seen before, and I was like, I'll see it when I get there, and that way I won't sound dumb on my show that like I don't know where it is. But I'll be honest, I went to the game and I don't know where it is either.
Let me
Where is
tell
it, Leo?
everybody where it is.
Is it
As
where
soon
we
as
are?
you walk it, no. As soon as you walk into the Freeman Coliseum, where you get your tickets scanned, and you have to go through security, and they put your stuff through the little metal detector and everything. Before you walk through the next double doors and you get your ticket scanned, before you walk in through those doors, look to your left. You will see one door tucked in the corner there with a stairwell that goes up. There's also an elevator to the right. So if you can't take stairs, it's okay. There's an elevator. Just walk through that door. You'll see the elevator. And then you go up that stairwell and you are in the saloon.
Did you go there?
Not this game, but I've been there before. But yeah, if you scanned your ticket and go into the breezeway that goes all the way around the Coliseum, you went too far.
Already missed it.
Yeah, you've already missed it. Yep.
I think we need
There you
signs
go.
or arrows.
Greg says it's cool, but it was crazy loud up there. I believe it. I believe it. Dolores giving me a hard time. She says, I save one of those medals for you every year. I think you're lying. I might be lying.
No, she's telling the truth.
No, I might be lying. James Palmer says, from my understanding, the saloon is free for season ticket holders for the rest of the season. That is my understanding as well.
Yeah, that's how yeah.
Also, after last call, I think everybody is welcome up there. So,
and we know that the team is listening because that banner that James was talking about was up. I took a picture of that.
Yeah, the 9th man banner was there. Saw it. And that again, to your point, RC, that means the team is listening to fans because fans pointed out on social media that it was missing in the first game. Jordan came on that post and said, I will make sure it's there for this game. And sure enough, Jordan, good to his word. The banner was there. So RC, they want to see April wants to see the picture in the middle of the, she calls it the centerfold, but centerfold is one of those words that has a connotation that I don't want to use, but there you go. There you go. The poster this week in your.
I believe that's Christoph Page, if I'm not mistaken.
It does look like Christoph Page.
Number 12.
You're right.
Yes.
Christoph, you were robbed on that call, man. Absolutely. He could not understand it, but that was absolutely ridiculous.
Program, I have quite a few. I purposely stayed afterwards, and unlike you who stole a football from a child, I took these from the tables
from several children.
Anybody needs one, feel free to contact us. I did not make a child cry to get these, but I was thinking of our fans, and I actually purchased a program just with the hope that they might call my name. They didn't. So just because sometimes we think we're special on here, Philip, he also, what did you do? Oh, you got the football. You stole the football. But I paid $5 and I stayed afterwards. If anyone needs a program, contact me. I have several.
Lolis and I bought a program as well, and we did not win either. It was not our name.
Not only did you guys not win the t-shirt, I put my name for the first time ever in for Kick for Cash, and I didn't get picked.
That's a good thing, old man. That's a good thing.
Am I not the former voice?
They saved you a hip injury. They saved you a hip injury. They were.
I can kick a football. It won't go through the uprights, but I can kick a football. I can entertain the fans. They can see me fall on my tuchus. No, absolutely.
I can tell you who can't kick a football. It's my husband, Jerry. We tried that after we practiced and he was all gung-ho. A little injury there. Not doing it anymore. Not doing it.
Well, they did select the masked bandit of San Antonio, the masked bandito, and he as well cannot kick a football as he demonstrated, but he demonstrated that he could not kick a football and also not get hurt at the same time. So he tried. We were pulling for him, but wasn't meant to be. He needs a little more practice.
Yeah. I think I can do them one better. I think I can kick the football and hurt myself. I think I can do both.
I guarantee you probably can. With those glasses on, God knows what would happen.
Well, I got to wear the glasses so I can see the football. You see, you put it down here on your nose so you can see the things below you. See, so you can see, so I can read. I have to read with these glasses. They are actually my reading glasses.
There's things below me. Every time I look down, I just see belly.
Oh my Lanta. Now we're going way too far. We're going down the hole. We're going down a rabbit hole, people.
Fun game, good time.
We had a good time.
Not the outcome we wanted, but we get to do it all over again. We've got another game coming up this week. And we'll see what happens against Northern Arizona. And it's retro night. There you go.
Cool.
RC's showing it off.
Is it the battle of the red hats or what? I don't like that.
No, they literally stole our show's logo.
Yes,
like,
they did.
See that logo over
Yeah.
there on
Right
that
there.
corner above Philip's head? That's
that
their
one.
logo.
This one.
But we had it first. Right. And then they stole the Gunslingers colors. So they are the kings of unoriginality in the IFL. And their uniforms look almost exactly like
the same
Gunslingers
colors, red, white, and
uniforms.
blue. And they have a pony, just like we have our deputy. Doesn't he look? Yeah, I don't like that.
They stole our whole aesthetic. Like we've talked
Everything.
about this before, but it bears repeating. They stole our whole thing.
What is
Red,
that?
white, and blue, the Cowboys logo, all of it. That's us.
What is that Jerry Seinfeld episode or saying where he says, I never met anybody I liked that had a pony?
Didn't watch enough Seinfeld. Apparently I watch way too much of Bernie Sanders or something. I don't know what that is. The old man is very, very Bernie Sanders. He's got the hands. And yeah. And on Retro Night, there will be fan jerseys available. We understand, unless something very odd happens, but I've been told that the expectation is for 2 new fan jerseys to be available for the fans. Anybody want to see what they look like?
I would love to. I want to see money go out of my wallet.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's rip some money out of some wallets then. Jordan sent these to me earlier today, and like I say, he absolutely expects these to be available for purchase. Jerseys this year are $50 a piece. They may have always been $50 a piece. I don't remember. But they are definitely $50 a piece because I made note of the price point this time. Here's our first one. It is sort of a hibiscus sort of flower inspired, but the barbed wire down the back along the spine. San Antonio Gunslingers football on the front. You've got the logo on either sleeve, and then you've got the red, white, and blue hibiscus flowers all over it. What do you think?
That's very contrasting, that jagged, hard barbed wire in the middle of those that floral montage.
I feel like this jersey would go better with like a luau Hawaiian theme.
Well,
Then
maybe
retro.
pick it up now so that the next time they do a beach night, luau night, tiki night, you have it ready.
That's true. I love it though.
It's I think I would I mean, I'm just offering a constructive criticism here. I love everything that Jordan does, and I respect the heck out of his talent and what he does. We are so lucky to have someone like Jordan. But
yes,
I think it would look better if the sleeves were a solid color, and the logo wouldn't get lost in the flowers.
Greg Nelson pointing out, I love seeing the word football on the gear. It helps answer some questions when you're tooling around. Absolutely. By the way, we have a I'm gonna pull this down. Everybody's gotten a chance to see it now. One of those people that we just have to say hi to anytime he pops in.
Tyler Huddle listening. Tyler
Huddle. He says, wait until you see the kicker for Naz. He's the thickest kicker. We have the thicker kicker, but he's the thickest kicker.
He's the thickest kicker. If I ever got on that Kick for Cash, I bet I could take him for that title. Oh, Well, I guess I would actually have to make a kick to be called a kicker. So
That would
never
be
mind.
true.
Maybe
kick the
so. Maybe
ball.
so. That was one of our designs that we're looking at. We need to see one more. Now, I am a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of some of the things that this is doing. The Hawaiian print or the hibiscus print, not necessarily my thing. I'm sure he'll sell plenty of them. It appeals to somebody. But this one, out of the two, this is one of my favorites. Might be my favorite of the year so far. It is the retro, the distressed sort of look that again, San Antonio Gunslingers football there on the front, 26 on the back, all of it looking distressed except for the guns, which I want to talk about a little bit. Those guns at the waist level. On the sleeves, you've got an American flag in a triple stripe on one side. On the other side, you have the old school San Antonio Gunslingers 1980s logo on the other side in that triple stripe. It is a white jersey with a distressed logo on the front and a faded sort of almost blue jean number 26 and guns up across the nameplate. What do you think of that one?
I love it. I love the fact that it has both the modern logo on the chest and then the classic logo on the sleeve. I'm not sure if we've seen that on a jersey before. It was either or, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
I like it, but I will say this to Jordan. Because of the logo, it's difficult for me to wear these shirts to my school where I work at. So if we could get a jersey with Deputy Duke with a big gunslinger without the guns, I know for sure I could wear to my school to work. And I would do that every week on Fridays where I can wear jeans.
It's a good point. James Palmer pointing out, too bad it's white. He said it would be ruined the first time I got around food with it. That is always a concern for me, but this is definitely one that I would consider adding to my collection.
Wear a bib. Wear a bib.
Yeah. Just wear a bib. You're good. You're good. I do. I'm a big sucker for distressed graphics. For a while there, every time I made a t-shirt for youth ministry, I would distress the graphic and give it some of that sort of just distressing. You just run a stippled sort of sponge across it on your graphics design program, and you get this very nice sort of distressing effect to it. I love it. I'm a big fan.
Greg,
you know what?
Gunslinger bibs. That would be awesome.
Gunslinger bibs.
Oh my Lanta.
I'll go a step further. I used to work with a music minister at a church that would go out to eat every Sunday, and he did not bring a bib. He brought an apron. He would bring an apron out to eat and tie an apron around himself because he's wearing his nice dress shirt, a nice tie because he just got done with church. He would put on a full apron, tie it in the back, everything to keep his clothes clean because they were expensive and nice, and he didn't want to get stuff all over him. He didn't mind if people looked at him and laughed a little bit. But Rick always had an apron with him. Not a bad call if you're one of those people that has trouble with food, because I'm one of those people.
Hey,
the apron.
As a fellow fat guy, panzon, I gotta give credit where it's due. That guy is a genius.
He is
total genius.
It's really smart.
An apron,
really smart.
Absolutely love it.
So Greg Nelson is the first to call for him. Gunslinger aprons. Jordan, are you listening? Gunslinger aprons. Dolores says I can totally see Leo and our granddad having matching bibs. We're past the bibs. We're on to aprons now. We're gonna do the apron thing.
I do like the aprons. I would wear an apron.
There you go.
Especially when we ever get to a point where we are tailgating, that would be awesome.
It would be cool. Birthday weekend for James Palmer, so I don't think he's going to be at the game. He's saying no New Jersey, or maybe he's not going to New Jersey. I'm not sure which one he's saying. Birthday weekend, no New Jersey. Oh well.
Happy early birthday!
Hey, don't sleep on the Garden State. That's a Dogma reference for people way back in the 90s, late 90s. Don't sleep on the Garden State. Can you smell what the Gunslingers are cooking? Theme night.
I like that.
with the apron. Speaking of theme nights, it's retro night, and there is a retro giveaway, and I don't remember what it is. So I'm going to vamp a little bit and look and see if I can remember what he said. Wigs. They're going to be giving away red, white, and blue Afro style wigs to everybody, or to the first. Yeah. That's the giveaway this week. So we're going to see a lot of red, white, and hey, I can have hair. I can have hair again. I may have to go just to get a hold of one of these wigs so I can have the hair again.
It'll go really good with your Gunslingers apron.
We can say don't mess with Texas and don't mess with the Gunslingers.
When you go to the buffet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was trying to figure out how to describe them because he sent it to me and he's like, a red, white, and blue, like Afro style wig. And I'm like, can I call that a clown wig? But clown wigs can look like a couple of different things. So I decided just to go with what he called it because that's what it is. It's that poofy sort of curly thing. So we're going to see a lot of those running around. A little more conspicuous than the medal.
Yeah.
Hard to see who got the medal and who didn't this week. You're not going to have that problem next week.
You'll see those out there. Well, I'm going to break the news now. I'm going to disappoint everyone.
Say it ain't so.
Except for one person who's commenting and watching right now. I'll disappoint everybody else. But it is going to be the end of a streak when it comes to Gunslingers football at home. This guy right here is going to miss his very first San Antonio Gunslingers home game next week. Unfortunately, has nothing to do with anything of the team. It's just a family situation, life situation. We committed to helping our kids out, and they live out of town, and we have to be out of town. So I will not be. Lolis and I will not be at this coming weekend's game. So I will not get one of those multicolored red, white, and blue hair pieces, unfortunately.
Well, to follow up with that, someone's going to San Diego to watch the Cubs play the Padres.
Who?
Me. I'm going to be missing the game too. I'm leaving this weekend. So that's going to be 3 people missing from the game. So we need a lot more people to step up and go to this game. So we can ask them on the next podcast, what's going on? What happened?
Holy moly.
So will this mean that the Smoking Guns podcast will maybe have some tickets to give away for this game down in the party zone at the Smoking Guns table? That could be something that's going to be in the works over the next few days on our Facebook page, maybe. I definitely don't want to discourage the Higginbotham family from maybe taking advantage of some open seats that we have. But we will discuss and figure it out.
Yeah, we'll be watching our Facebook page. If we have tickets available, maybe we make those available and we trade those off so that look, here's the deal. If we offer tickets out there, the key is going to be you have to bring someone that's never been to a Gunslinger game.
Ooh, I like that.
You can come. You can bring I think we have 4. And so if we make all 4 of those available, then you can come and you can bring a spouse or a loved one or even 2. But one of your party has to be somebody who's never been to a Gunslinger game before. If we make those available, that's going to be the rule. I'm stating it right now before I ever even ask these 2 people's opinion, if that's okay.
How about we have a retro contest? A retro contest. Who dress up the best? They win the 4 tickets.
I don't know how we'd have time to do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine us having time to do that. We'll come up with some way of giving them away, though, if we need to. If we go to give them away.
The game is in 4 days, 20 hours, 17 minutes, and 24 seconds from right now. I can tell you exactly because there's a ticker on the San Antonio Gunslingers webpage.
There is.
And I don't know that there's enough time to have a contest for them to dress up, judge, and do all that. Not sure.
They already have the stuff in their closet.
But I like that. I like Philip's idea though of bringing, committing to bringing someone who's never been to a game, And then the other good news is you will be right adjacent to someone who's in the comment section right now and a great friend and supporter of the show, Greg Nelson.
Yeah.
In the party zone. So
Greg Nelson, one of
That's
our
always fun. And Kim.
patrons. Kim and Greg Nelson, part of our
him
patrons.
and Kimmy.
Always have a good time with them. When I can hear them, when the music's not too loud, I always have a great time
Oh,
with them.
Lord.
Hey, speaking of people I ran into this week at the game, seeing Kim and Greg Nelson, I saw Jason from Texans Talking Football. They should have their show tomorrow night on Facebook. Go check them out. They're a fun time. They're a fun hang. I also saw Jason Torres of the OG3 who was out at the game. Now we didn't get to have much of a conversation. I'm going to tell the story why. Jason, I hope I don't embarrass you. It doesn't embarrass me. But halftime, I go for a potty stop, and I'm standing there at the urinal, and guys know that there's not a lot of conversation at the urinal. You're just taking care of business and washing your hands and getting out of there. But as I'm there at the urinal, I hear somebody next to me say, "Hey, how's it going?" And I look over, it's Jason Torres. And we chatted just real quickly. How's the family? How are things going? And then I left because I got there first, so I finished first. I wash my hands and I walk out. And then I stand at the door and I'm like, do I wait? That seems weird to wait outside the bathroom for someone else to have a conversation.
I didn't know about all this going on.
So, Jason, if you're listening right now and you're like, that was weird, he just left and never said goodbye or anything, I honestly just had no idea how to handle that situation. I felt weird waiting for another guy to come out of the bathroom at the door. So I just went on to do my thing. And I was like,
more weird. Yes, I think you made the right choice.
If I see him a little bit later, then I'll say hi again.
In the women's restroom, we have conversations between the stalls. So
men and women are different.
The rest of my life not knowing what happened at the urinal. Thank you very much.
We do not have conversation. There's very little conversation at the urinal. I'm just telling you right now. It's at halftime. You're not able to have the every other space that we prefer. I think everybody prefers to have like every other urinal. You skip one if you can, but at halftime there's enough guys in there that you can't do that. So everybody's there. But yeah, no, not a lot of conversation going on there.
The stuff that comes up on the Smoking Guns podcast,
sure,
I tell you, it's
oh my.
Am I wrong, Leo?
No, you're not. You're not.
Am I steering anyone wrong here? We prefer that boundary, that limit, that every other. It's very odd to have somebody
even
right next
now.
to you. But yeah. But I did see Jason Torres. Obviously, I saw Ralph. He was doing the game for Vegas Radio. He sent me his stats. I got a chance to look at them, but I couldn't make much out of them. And, I could get down in the weeds and do the math on them, but I just didn't do that. I'm sorry. That's on me. Not that they're not helpful, Ralph. Keep sending them to me because there's going to be times that I need that information. Speaking of what we're going to see next week, we may see, yeah, she's right. Jessica says, James says the men's restroom is typically pretty quiet. It is. There's not a lot of conversation going on in the men's room. Just telling you. At the sink, maybe. You have a conversation with somebody as you're both washing your hands at the sink.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Not from stall to stall, not from urinal to urinal. We don't
definitely not stall to stall. No.
We do stall to stall, okay?
That's just icky.
No, it's not icky.
It's icky.
I mean, it's a little icky. For guys see it. It's a little weird. A little weird.
Ladies, back me up. We have major conversations between stall to stall. Sometimes we may even exchange items. That's all I'm saying.
Can you spare a square? We're going back to Seinfeld here. Can you spare a square? I know that. Hey, speaking of things we might see this weekend at the Gunslingers game, the Gunslingers made a trade just before this game. They made a trade with the Jacksonville Sharks, and they will be bringing in this guy, Lowell Patron Jr. He's a wide receiver. He is we lost RC. Lowell Patron Jr. is coming in from the Sharks, but he played 2 seasons with Green Bay. a pretty accomplished wide receiver, a guy that made a difference on their offense in Green Bay over the last couple of years. And we were able to grab him on a trade. He will be coming in to add to the offense. So be looking for Lowell Patron Jr. And we hope to see Glenn Gibbons coming back.
Yeah.
You add those two guys in, offensively, things might change. You got those two guys. You got Cook. You got Austin Upshaw. You've got Smith. You got some offensive weapons, you know?
I mean, they've got some tools. I want to see the offensive line play better.
Yes.
I'm sorry to call out any particular unit or player or anything, but it's got to be better in that unit, especially.
Yeah, we need more time for a quarterback. We need more room for a running back. We need better blocking. We just need the offensive line unit to step up and play a little better. You know, a different.
Blame the slick balls either. That's not even an issue.
Well, it's the same ball for both teams. Like that's my thing is.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of podcasts ago, but no, we're done with that.
Jessica Palmer saying, hey, everybody in San Antonio, surrounding areas, be safe, be cautious. Seen or heard water levels getting high in places. Man, seriously, turn around. Don't chance it. If the water looks high and you're not sure you can go on, don't risk it. It's not worth it. It's not worth getting washed away in water that's running.
And if you're anywhere near where there's, low ground level where there's risk of water, flash floods, just get to high ground. Don't wait for it to be too late.
No, for sure. James Palmer says almost need a boat. Yeah, maybe so. Mark Yamaguchi, good to see you, sir. Hope the Gunslingers can pull it together. Love them guns. We do too. And we really expect the next 3 games to tell us a lot about the team. Tell us a lot about what we got going forward. And we'll see what happens. Well, what else? What else is there to talk about?
Well, I did want to say that Cassie, the coach for the 6 shooters, I had reached out to her. It's a busy time for her. She's taking her finals. She's working on that doctorate of physical therapy. Now, things kind of calmed down. She did say she was going to try hard to come next week, possibly on the show to talk about the 6 shooters. But she's got graduation. She's got these tests. She's got all these finals. So we're going to give her some grace, and hopefully we'll have her next Monday on the show to talk about the 6 shooters.
Nice.
Good deal. Mo says, okay, stupid question. When you're on a one-way like the interstate, where would you turn around? You're not wrong. That's an odd sort of moment. But traditionally interstates, specifically highways and interstates, are higher ground than what's around them. So you shouldn't see too many of those kind of issues. But I mean, if I had to just pull off the road I'd find a way to turn around as opposed to going through water that I didn't know how high it is. If you don't know, if you can't see how high the water is, don't drive through it. It doesn't matter what vehicle you're in. It doesn't matter if you think you have enough clearance. I had an uncle driving in his little sedan, thought he could cross the water. He was safe, thank goodness. He was able to get out of the vehicle and be safe, but that vehicle was gone, totaled. Shut everything down, and it was over. So just know, turn around. Don't take a chance if you don't have to. We are the Smoking Guns Podcast. We are a podcast that deals with the San Antonio Gunslingers of the IFL. We are brought to you by some amazing folks that take not only the time and the effort to be a part of the show. Very often you see and hear from them as we have our show each week, but they also take a little bit of money each month and help us pay the bills here and help us bank a little money so that we can send kids to camp, both football camp and six shooters camp. Those both happen usually June, July. Once we get into summer and we try to send any kid that can't make that on their own, we try to put together some funds and send them off to camp. The folks that help us make the show go and help us send kids to camp, that's Robert Seco, Mo and Iris Ferrante, James and Jessica Palmer, Jay Washington, Jordan and James Stubing, Kim and Greg Nelson. We appreciate them so much. Thank you so much for being willing. If you want to be a part of that group, if you want to help us pay the bills on the show and send kids to camp, you can do that. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/smokinggunspod. If you don't know how to spell that, it's smoking, no G, smoking, no G, guns with a Z, P-O-D. All one word, all lowercase. If that matters, it doesn't. And you can see our Patreon and you can join up at $5, $10, or $20 a month and help us make the show go, help us send kids to camp as we get into the summer. We really appreciate all of those folks, and we're so thankful for the way that we month in and month out step up and help us do all of the things. We are on social media, all of the social medias at Smoking Guns Pod. That's Smoking OG, Guns with a Z, P-O-D. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. The one we're most active on is Facebook because we're all old people. We're all old, and we think Facebook is the place to be, and it's where we belong, and that's where we're at. So we're all old people, and we hang out on Facebook, and we do a little bit on TikTok. We do some stuff on Instagram, but for the most part, you can reach us on Facebook. You can also email the show at smokinggunspod@gmail.com. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Flash flood warning till now. They moved it to 11 p.m. Earlier, I saw it 5, then they changed it to 6.
Yeah,
now it's 11. Yeah, it's ugly out there, guys. Be careful.
Yeah, I lost my power. You saw the lights go off. I lost my connection. So this may be a good time to.
Vamoose.
April asking if Coach Bain is joining. I think it's safe to say at this point he is not. We always make an invitation every Monday to let him know he's welcome. He'll take us up on that if he has the time and the ability. Coach Bain has been the most communicative head coach that we've had in the San Antonio Gunslingers. We've had some that do it really well. We've had some that don't do it very well at all. We've had good ones, guys that I liked and got along with that communicated very well, guys I didn't like that communicated very well. We have guys I like that didn't communicate so much, and guys I didn't like that didn't communicate so much. So that has nothing to do one way or another with anything, but I will tell you that Coach Bain is the most transparent and open. He has conversed with me the most. He has come on the show already in his 1 month as the head coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I think he's come on the show more than any other head coach. So he is he's not running from anything. He just may not have the ability, the time, the bandwidth to jump on the show every week, but that's always open to him, and we will see him again throughout the season. If you have questions, ask me. Shoot me a message on Facebook. I'll pass your question over to Bain, and he'll tell me what he wants us to know, or what he can tell me.
Don't ask him at the urinal.
No,
yeah, don't ask him at the urinal. That's not a place for those questions. Lily says, Philip, can you please wear your wig, your glasses, and the old man accent for the next podcast? I was going to kind of talk to you two both offline about this. I don't think I'm going to be here next week. I'm going to be on the road. And I think it'll be hard for me to check in, but if I get a hold of one of those wigs, yeah, I'll do the old man. With the wig and the glasses and the whole thing, not the whole podcast. Nobody wants to see that.
I think you should do the whole outro from where you start talking about our sponsor or our Patreons, and all the way to the end as old man.
So I gotta do that next time. Yeah, because we already done the Patreons. I'm not gonna do that again. But that's a good idea. I could absolutely do that. Well, with all that being said, when it comes to indoor football and the best football experience, whether the team is 3-0, 5-0, 0-3, or anything in between, if you are looking for the best indoor football experience, don't look for it in Green Bay. Don't look for it in Tulsa or Jacksonville. You don't need to go out there to Arizona and look at Prescott Valley or at the Desert Diamond Arena. You don't have to go to Florida and look in Jacksonville or down in Orlando. If you want the best, if you're looking for the best indoor football experience, the 210 has got something to say.
Bang, bang.
All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks,
11
guys.
of you. We appreciate you.
Be safe. Be safe.
Be safe, be careful, and show up on Saturday. Unless you got something going on, I realize that several of us are going to be out of pocket. There's a possibility that the entire Smoking Guns podcast will be watching,
That'll be the
and
first ever
not
in,
at the game.
6 years?
First time ever.
With RC traveling, Leo's got some other. He's going to go be a grandpa, which is a lot of fun, and. I am on the fence right now about whether I can be there at the game or not. I'm going to try, but I can't promise anything. There's a possibility that none of the Smoking Guns podcast will be there. We understand that sometimes things come up, but if you can, be there. Don't let an 0-3 record be like, it's not worth going. Man, the experience is great, whether we win or lose. Go and make your presence felt and support the team. If we don't support it, it will go away.
Yeah.
I can't promise you wins and losses. I can't promise you any of that kind of stuff. I can promise you they're always going to give you an entertaining experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I can promise you that if we do not support it, we cannot gripe when it goes away, and it will go away. If we fail to support it with our dollars and with our butts in the seats, it'll go away. I promise. And we don't want that. None of us want that. So continue to support, whether they're 0-3 or 3-0 or 5-0 or whatever the record is. Continue to support your team and be faithful football fans. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you soon. Guns up, man. Let's go take it to the Northern Arizona Copycats and we'll take them down a peg and show them who deserves to wear the logo and the colors. Right. Good night, everybody. Be safe.
Your own stuff. Guns up.
Happy Fiesta.